So welcome to the study group 3 for the Course in Miracles, and today we're going to be doing the reciprocal relationship of giving and receiving. Now it took me, ages and ages to really understand this because it's quite complex, but when you see it working in your life, it's shocking that we can't see this. And I find that I find that with everything in the Course in Miracles. I'm like, I've lived for 50 odd years. Why have I never seen this? When it becomes clear, it becomes clear.
Yeah.
And so that's what we're going to do today. Can you all see that there? Or do you want me to move it around a little bit? You okay? I can see. Okay. So we'll do what we normally do. We'll have like a bit of teaching, cup of tea, and then we'll do the questions and answers and things. Okay, sure you can see that. Can you see that? Okay. So the reciprocal relationship of giving and receiving. So let's start with a quote from the text. Giving to get is an inescapable part of the law of the ego, as it's continually preoccupied with scarcity. And I think the easiest way to show that is through relationships. So these are atoms here. Atoms have three layers, if you like, three shells, and they have electrons in them. And they will have 2 in the middle, 8 in the middle circle, and then 8 on the edge circle, layer. And if they have their full quota of electrons, they become excited and stable. Okay, so that's their ideal, to be excited and stable. However, obviously some don't have 8 electrons, let's say, in their outer layer. Let's say we have an atom with a 2, an 8 and a 1. So that, if we think about that as us, okay, we have some qualities lacking, or we believe, or some scarcity. We need something. So we will look for a partner who has the things that we need and that we want, because the ego is in control of this. So I will look for an atom that's a 2, 8, 7, so that together our outer layers will have the full quota of electrons, and we will become excited and stable together. Okay, more powerful, because all those atoms that come together that are excited and stable create that laser beam, that strong focused beam. So we go out looking. If I'm a 1, let's say I've got lots of lacking, and I will go out and look for that man that can provide for me, whether that be money or security, or I'm being victimhood, I'm looking for the perpetrator, all of that kind of stuff. So the ego sends us out looking for what we have not got. It's already brought us into the fact that we're lacking something, there's scarcity, there's need, all which is quite low vibration, and all which the Course in Miracles says is absolutely not true. If we're identifying with our Holy Spirit, the higher self, with God, we are all one, we are all equal. There is no lack, there is no need that will not be provided for by the Holy Spirit. Ask and it is given, knock and the door shall open, seek and you shall find. So, every decision you make stems from what you think you are and represents the value that you put upon yourself. Let's just pause that there. So, every decision you make stems from what you think you are. If I think I'm valueless and I have very low self-esteem, that's the kind of, I'm going to look for the partner I deserve, put it that way, yeah, that I think I'm worthy of. If you strive, and again, jobs, isn't it? I won't go for the manager's job because I don't think I'm good enough, or, I don't have the skills, or all of that kind of stuff. So I'm putting a value on myself and acting out there to attract or to select, whatever you want to do, however you want to say it, to get what I think I'm worth. If you strive for anything in this world and believe that it will bring you peace, you are belittling yourself and blinding yourself to the glory. Because again, there is no lack within you. There's no lack of self-esteem, there is no lack of goodness, there is no lack of innocence, there's no lack of anything. You were created perfect, and that's who you are. You are God, Son of God, and you're the same as everybody else. We're all equal, we're all one, we're all loving. However, the ego can make you believe, or through your beliefs and programs, you may have been taught that you are less than, unworthy, not good enough, all of those kinds of things. So, as the Course says, there's two thought systems in operation. The egos, and the egos, they also call wrong-mindedness, and its whole belief is scarcity and lack. It will keep you divided and separate, because if I think I have to get something from somebody else, I've just reinforced division and separation. That you are different from me because you've got something that I haven't got. Separation. It will also engender guilt, because if I know I'm only going out for you for what I can get, and we all know this on some level, I'm going to feel bad about that. I'm going to feel guilty. And any guilt, therefore, deserves punishment. So be careful what you wish for. If I'm in my right mind, listening to the Holy Spirit, I will find peace, oneness, and everything, being and having everything. And therefore, if I understand that I'm the 2AA, if I understand I'm perfect as I am whole, I am complete, I don't need someone to complete me. I don't need my other half and all of those words that we say, my soulmate, all of that. If I'm a 2AA, I will attract someone who is also whole and complete. Therefore, we don't need anything from each other. We're not in it to get. We're in it for love, to increase our power, to join as one. And that's the real, if you like, value of relationships, of a special relationship. I don't like that word really, because when we do the week of special relationships, you'll see why that's quite damaging. But, you know, we join together as two wholes, if you like, that become whole, or holier. Okay, so the ego's world is obviously the material world as such, the unreal world, as the Course in Miracles calls it. So let's have a look at the ego's world with the reciprocal relationship of giving and receiving. So the Course says, to price is to value, and so the return will be in proportion to your judgment of worth. Let me read that again. To price is to value, so the return will be in proportion to your judgment of the worth. So let me give you a couple of examples. So if, for example, you're selling a beautiful dress and you want £100 for it, and I come along and I see your beautiful dress and I see that you're charging £100 for it, and I barter and I barter and I bargain because I want to get, my ego wants to get, so I end up giving you £30 for it. So I now have a £30 dress, which I will value about £30. Now, that's average for a dress, so I'll wear it all the time. If I paid £100 for that dress, don't know about you, I don't spend £100 on dresses, so I will put that in the cupboard and only wear it on very, very special occasions because I value it so much. The dress is the dress, but the price that I've paid for it will determine its worth to me, its value. Now, I had a lovely example in the class. Somebody was watching at some kind of travel show, I think it was, and the guy was going around bartering, and he had the guy in front of him and he bartered him down to almost nothing to get this gift or whatever it was from the guy. And he got the gift, and the guy looked so was obviously so desperate to get something. He looked so sad that the guy apparently said, I feel so bad about this, and actually ended up giving him the full price and £50 more, because he could feel he cheated him. Now, whether we get that consciously or not, that is what's really being recorded. I know that we are one. It should be equal. And I've gotten something, if you like, more than this person, and she has lost. And there's no peace in winners and losers. This is where you will find peace, when we are equal, one, being fairly treated, if you like. I wouldn't want that done to me, therefore I should not do that to you. Stop me as we're going on. Somebody else in the class gave me a wonderful example about flowers. This woman had been married for many, many years to this guy, and he would bring her flowers, because in the beginning she loved to receive the flowers. And now she didn't feel so good in that relationship. And so the flowers meant nothing to her. It's almost that, yeah, what have you done wrong? Yeah. So she was not taking the value and the worth of those flowers, and therefore receiving nothing. Whereas he genuinely, was giving her the flowers because that's what she loved, trying to rekindle the romance, whatever his reasons were. Whatever his reasons were, he was giving a gift. And if the gift is received, he feels great, doesn't he? He feels fantastic. And if that person receives the gift, especially values it, even if it's a bunch of flowers from the garage that only cost a couple of quid, this is where we get, it's the thought that counts. It's still a gift. But if I go, oh, it's a £5 bunch from the garage, I've lost the gift because I'm not appreciating, and it will not grow within me. If it spent 25 quid on the bouquet, I might appreciate that more. But, that's not the right way to do it. I valued it, but I should value the gift that's been given, not because of what I've priced it at as such. Because that's the ego's work. Is this keying into you? If you've got any examples of that, throw them out there. It's all welcome. Okay. So if paying, I'm giving her £30, is equated to getting, I'll set the price low so that I can feel that I've won, but I'll demand a high return. Because if I pay £30 for something that's I think's only worth 20, I'm going to feel the one that's been cheated. And I think she'll think that she's won. Whether that's true or not is irrelevant. But it's still going to be out of balance. So here we are back with our seesaw that the ego loves so much. Loves hierarchy. Because this is how it reinforces worth and judgments and values. So here, the man with the green hat looks like he's the winner, because let's say he or she got the dress for £30, and it looks like the lady in the red skirt who sold it is the loser. And I think we can all recognise that, can't we? Yeah, we love a bargain. Black Friday, wasn't it, yesterday? Look at how many. I saw people on the TV rushing through Asda's front door like there was nothing left on the shelves. Exactly. Yeah, to get, thinking they've got a bargain. Till, I'm not saying this about Asda, don't be sued, but until perhaps they might find that later on, they didn't save 70% because it's then not sale at a different price and that, because it only has to be 70% of once they sold it for 2 weeks at that price, or whatever the law is, I don't know. Anyway, and again, the guilt about trampling on my brother to go and get that, is key, isn't it?
But do you then, if you pursue material, that's where the challenge is.
Yeah.
If your ego is materialistic,
yeah,
orientated,
yeah,
the guru will never be there because you don't care.
Yeah.
If you're stamping on anybody else to get it.
Exactly, because you're so bought into the ego's program of winning and losing, gain and loss and scarcity, you know, it's like running through as it was like there was no TV's ever going to be on sale again. You know, that's so scarcity thinking, isn't it? So you're right. So when we come on to the Holy Spirit's view of all of this, you'll see the difference. So the price for getting is to lose sight of the value, making it inevitable that you will not value what you've received. So as I said, £30 dress is not now as valuable to me as if I'd have paid the £100 for it. I would have got something of value. You could say, well, yeah, but you've lost 70 quid. But that's only if you believe in the ego's thing about money. You know, if you believe in abundance and that the Holy Spirit will, you know, bring everything to me, then I don't have to worry, do I? And the other thing is, don't forget I've brought that from myself, because this is me. This is my brother. This is the one with me. So, thus valuing it little, you will not appreciate it. Now think about that word, to appreciate. I feel, think about this, let's do this. Just close your eyes for a minute. What feels better? To appreciate or to be grateful for? Put your hand up if you feel to appreciate feels better, higher vibration, however you want to say it, than gratitude. See? Right. So put your hand up if you feel gratitude feels better, higher vibration than appreciation. That's interesting, isn't it? So
same really to me.
it feels the same to you? How does it feel to you?
Yeah, sort of the same.
Sort of the same?
Gratitude is, for me, is grace.
Okay.
In terms of everything is just like wow.
Okay.
You know, I'm grateful for everything.
Yeah.
Everything.
Okay.
So there's not expectation anymore. It's like I'm grateful. Everything come along, I'm grateful. It's just grace.
Okay.
If I can explain.
And so why did you feel differently? Because I feel this, to me, there's such a big difference. But so how did you?
I've never differentiated between gratitude and appreciation until now, until you asking that question. And for me, closing my eyes and thinking about the two, I went with appreciation, because to appreciate, I think, has a wider context, and you're looking, for me, I would be looking at a bigger picture.
Yeah.
And actually I'm not just looking at the giving and being grateful for the giving, I'm looking at what's coming behind that, in front of that. It's just, for me, it just felt like a much bigger contextual sort of
thing. And I have to say, and there's no right or wrong, just that good, because obviously it's what your definition is of the words, but to me, you know, I get that because it feels so different to me. And for me, when, again, it's my definition, but when you're grateful, it's almost like somebody or someone has given something to you that you needed. Whereas to appreciate, you know, I can just walk around and appreciate the sun, and it's almost like there's a difference in that I don't have to have been given something personally. I can just appreciate everything. And to appreciate means, think about money, your money appreciates, it grows. So I'm not saying there's any right or wrong, I'm just saying for me, and again, we need to think about our definitions of these things, because as you say, we use them willy-nilly, they feel like they're the same. This is a bit clearer. What about this one? Close your eyes. To get and to receive, which one feels, if any, a little bit kind of higher vibration or more valuable, or however you want to say it?
Well, receive, but I think it's just like because of the time get. Like it's like you're taking.
Yeah, it seems harsh, doesn't it, as opposed to receive. Yet we use those words willy-nilly. So again, you know me, I'm really keen on watching your language, because each word has a different vibration. That's why we have different words for different things, even though we've learned to use them willy-nilly. Actually, there is a different vibrational effect on every word that you're saying. What about this? To give or to extend and share? To share. Feels different, does it, than to give? And I guess, I don't know, this is my, you know, when I think about these things, giving is almost, I think of it as more material. I give you the pen, I give you this and that. Whereas to extend and share feels very different because there's no loss to me. So if I can give you my love as such, but if I extend and share my love, I'm included in it. Whereas if I give, there's a sense for me that I've lost, or I'm less than.
That's really, it makes a lot of sense, because I am at the level of, you know, I practice my spirituality in terms of sharing. It's not that I have a lot, but you know, I know my income, but my joy come to know that my friend, I can book a spa, and just sit there with her, and she's having massage because I know maybe she's having some, and the joy of seeing her relaxing and sitting down and sharing even my pathway. But I look after her, and by paying for all that, the beauty, honestly, I feel the joy. I don't have expectation, but seeing that I'm getting her to understand that you don't need to be down there, but this is the need you can have, and I have it because I have it so much. Not that in a materialistic way. I have it so much in me that my cup is full.
So I've got the stuff to give to you, and as you give, you receive because you see how much you've got to give. So we'll come on to that in a moment, and we'll use that. Well, that's a good one. So let's stay with the ego's view of it at the moment. So, valuing it little, you will not appreciate and you will not want it. So, in the ego's world here, it looks like the one with the green hat that bought the dress for £30, it looked like they were a winner, and then the seller was the loser. But actually, he was the loser, or she was the loser, because the guilt's going to come now. That I know I've cheated, and that also the low vibration of I've got something, but you know, I'm not that impressed with it. I'm not as impressed with it as I would if I'd got £100 dress as such. And actually, the seller, if they look at it correctly, will actually feel peaceful because they haven't cheated anymore. But it's easy. Sorry.
I struggle with that because if the ego is about getting as opposed to receiving, and if the ego is about being the winner and materialistic, I don't see how guilt features in the ego's world, because that would imply that the ego has some kind of conscience.
Well, again, we talk about it, don't we, in terms of being, in some ways it does have a conscience because it is part of you and you're conscious, and you have conscience. But you see, this is the difficulty when you talk about it as being you personalise it as such, but it's difficult to teach it without doing that.
Because if I'm rushing into Asda and trampling on my brother to get the TV, do I care that I've trampled on my brother to get the TV?
Do you?
Well, I wouldn't be running into Asda to get
But okay, but again, it depends on your beliefs, your values, how bought into the ego you are, because the ego doesn't care.
And that must then determine how guilty you then feel.
Yeah, exactly.
Right, okay,
yeah. So again, it's all levels. We're all different, and if you notice, I said depending on if they're doing the work, because they could, if we're both brought into the ego's world, feel like losers. Nobody won from that, because they're going to feel cheated, and I'm going to feel guilty and not value what I've got. So in some ways, we've both lost. That's normally how we end up feeling, isn't it?
That's right.
And then what happens then? I want to take my power back, and I might not be able to get my power back on her, but then I might want to make the money up somewhere else.
Yeah, what she's saying is really, really interesting, because then you trump on me, but I must start doing the work already to tell you, actually, do you know you trump on me when you were going to ask that? Your ego could bully me. I haven't trumped on you, or something like that.
Attack defence.
That's it. I felt suffocated. I'm hurt. But one way or another, that pain will lead me to develop myself to the point where I feel confident enough to say to you, this is how I feel with confidence when you trump on me, that could be an awakening for you too.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So if you're doing the work,
If
yes. Yes, absolutely. If you're not doing the work, you trampled on me, and we get into the attack defence cycle.
That's it.
So again, hopefully there's all different stages of it, isn't
That's
there?
right.
Depending on where we are. A psychopath wouldn't give a damn because they haven't got a conscience as such. That's the definition of a psychopath, isn't it, on some level? But if on some deeper level, they will know what they're doing and there will be consequences for that as such. Because as you give, you receive.
Yes.
And again, it isn't always, money for money and all of that kind of stuff. And you kind of get into the realms of karma as such. But I'm changing my view on karma. Karma is more cause and effect rather than, or it, is kind of knowing every aspect of a subject because it's one. We're all one. And we're all going to feel each other's pain.
Therefore, when we say the peace, I can't have peace knowing that she's trumped on me and I cannot.
Yes, you can. No. Yes, you can.
No, listen.
Okay.
I cannot have peace knowing that you trump on me, and if I want to be whole and loved in me, I need to find an equilibrium stage in my life. It's a lot of work that I can stand in front of you and share my feeling. No, because if I reject with anger, it will bounce back. Excellent. So I need to keep doing the work to the point that I trust myself and really come in you.
But listen,
isn't it? The peace is a big work.
No, because what you're falling into the ego's trap is, let's talk about it in terms of the attack defense cycle, okay? So, she has attacked you by trampling on you to get her TV, okay? And there's two options. Anyone who has been attacked, now, there's three options. You're either going to attack back, oh, you just trampled on me. You're going to get defensive, or you're going to not even see it as an event. Because when we talk about forgiveness, it always says, forgiveness for what that person did not do. Because you're right to a certain degree, you do your work on it, but as soon as you want to go and talk to her about it, you've made her attack real. Even if you want to say that in a loving, kind way, you're still going to talk to her about her attack. It's crazy, isn't it? It's so surreptitious.
So yesterday we were in this conference and it got to the point where we had an activity to do on the tables, and one of my colleagues said, so there was about 6 of us on the table, one of my colleagues said, immediately, she said, okay, she pushed the paper over to someone else and said, right, you do it. And then that someone else said, you always do that. You always, you never take responsibility. You always push things onto other people. And then the other colleague said, no, I don't. I don't do that.
Yeah.
When did I do that? Give me an example of when I did that. And then the other one, and I just sat there thinking, this is really interesting. And then the other one said, well, I can't think of anything now, but you do. You always do that. So in the break, the one who felt attacked, who became defensive, said, can you believe she said that to me? I can't believe. Now I know she does it. She does it all the time. Yeah. Can you believe she did that? So I said, well, you've got two options here. You can either just let it go, or you can ask her about it.
Yeah.
And she grappled with that the entire day. I saw her grappling with it. And then in the end, she said, you know what, I'm just going to leave it. And then she left. So the one who did it then came up to me at the end of the day, and I said, have a good weekend. She said, do you think I was wrong to say what I did? Oh, God, what a position to be in. Yeah. So I said, if you felt you needed to have said it, because clearly I could see it was coming from a deeper place, and you needed to get it out, well, then that's fine.
Yeah.
She said, well, I did think she'd come back and talk to me about it, but she didn't. So I said, well, maybe you struck a nerve and she needs to think about it, but let it go now. I think it's done. It's out there in
Yeah.
the universe, just let it go. But it was such an interesting.
That defence cycle,
Beautiful.
yeah. And you see how defensive she got, which then turns back into an attack. Whether she
Absolutely.
says that or not. Well, when did I say? You know, not, you don't necessarily need to be attacking that person, but the defensiveness is really just another attack.
Yes.
And you've both got caught up in the cycle. And the interesting thing about that as well is then you both go off and reflect on it and end up feeling guilty. Should I have said that? Should I? And again, did she leave it? Did she leave it from the place of fear, oh, I can't face it? Or did she really genuinely leave it with nothing ever happened? Because true forgiveness is nothing ever happened.
Yeah. I think they were both losers.
That's hard. I feel
It's
like
very hard,
that's
isn't it?
So when I see her at church, I have palpitation.
Oh, you've
Oh,
given her so much power.
Because you've not forgiven her.
That's it. So to forgive her is the fact that I have to recognize where
This is what you need to be working on with it.
Yeah.
You're stuck still somewhere in the attack-defense cycle. She attacked me so badly, it hurt me this much. And although, you know, you're doing the work on it, but there's still something there. There's still a little bit of want for revenge. And that's what you need to be working on. What will it do? What will it give me? You know, why I'm still seeing this as an attack. You need to, in some ways, I'm coming to you, in some ways, when we have a special relationship with someone, you're now in a special, let's say, hate relationship with her, we have a list of criteria. We have a whole file on her, what she did, what she said, how it made me feel, what I think about her, what she thinks about me. And what you need to do now is, in some ways, burn that file. And when she comes through the door now, you see her with fresh eyes. Be as an innocent little child.
Thank you.
Genuinely, nothing happened. I don't know this person. Look as if she was the
That's
first.
true.
Walked into the door today like a new person at the church. Then you will
That's true.
feel differently about it. You would have dropped his story, the history. You would have got yourself out of the attack-defense cycle, and now you can just see her as if I just walked in the church myself.
Thank you. And this is what I did. And then I got a practice to show her love. The Holy Spirit said to me, you're going to cook lovely dinner, get her a flower and give it to
Make
her.
her your best friend. Yeah, fantastic,
I can't believe I
excellent.
did that.
So my mum the other day, she was supposed to be taking me and my son to the hospital. I wasn't well, and then she was trying to get out of doing it, but we'd already cancelled it. So to me, it was my mum is now trying to get out of taking my son to his hospital
It's your story
appointment.
about
It's my
it,
story, and it was all them things, and he's ill and all this and that. So we ended up having like a bit of a row, and she ended up doing it anyway. But it was the morning, and we was both not in a great place, so
Yeah.
whatever. It was all done. Then later on, she just said, like, can we call a truce or something like that? And I just sat there and I just thought, if I think about her as my mum, I probably wouldn't call a truce,
Yeah.
because my mum shouldn't have done that to me and my son.
In your opinion?
Yeah, in my opinion, exactly, which means nothing. But I just see her as another human being who was having a bad morning as I was.
Like you were,
We
yeah.
didn't want to go, like I didn't want to go because we both weren't quite
Yeah.
well, and that was it.
Fabulous.
So that's the end of
Yeah.
that.
Okay.
And
Because I can see her as not as just as my mum.
Yeah.
I can just see her as an equal, and I
Yeah.
do that with.
it really works, doesn't it?
Yeah.
It really works. And so what you've done is you've burnt the whole file on Mum,
Yeah.
and this is Rosemary or
It's
whatever
just-
her name is.
I just cut the
Yeah.
crap.
Crap.
Wow.
Exactly. Because who's suffering?
Yeah,
You're the
but-
one suffering.
Yeah.
Look how long you've suffered
I
with
know.
it.
I mean, days I would have told that story for before and gone over it, and I would have
Yeah.
been suffering, and I would have
Exactly.
felt it, and then that would have lowered my vibration.
And the ego loves that, doesn't it? Because it's put us right back where it wants us.
Yeah.
Oh,
And hides the attack-defense cycle really well, because that's really what you were into, wasn't it? The attack-defense cycle. She's doing this to me, and the mum feels innocent, and you feel innocent, and you're attacking each other, and then you go away and feel guilty, and so the mum comes and says, "Can't we call it a truce?" You know, and thankfully, doing this work, you can escape from those things really easy.
But nothing happened anyway.
It's a dream.
Nothing
It's a
happened
dream.
anyway,
Get over it.
exactly.
Yeah, it's a dream. Okay, so let's come back. Excellent. So we see in the ego world, you know, there's winners and losers, or actually worse still, both lose. But in the real world, if we did this kind of thing in heaven, if you like, I would have given the £100. she would have been happy, I would have been happy, there would have been peace, and I would have got something that I really valued, this beautiful dress, and she would have got something she really valued, the £100 that she felt it was worth too. So the reciprocal relationship of giving and receiving would have been honoured beautifully. So that's why we're never happy with what we get unless we deal fairly with the other, who is our brother. We are one, so if I cheat her, I'm actually cheating myself, because giving and receiving is one thing. It's two sides of one coin. I only know what I have. If I gave her the £100 and said, oh, look how rich I am, as long as I don't feel like I've now lost it, I have £100. I've received £100 for someone. I can feel really good and rich about that. And I've helped my brother. I've given my brother £100. That makes me feel so great.
That's great.
And that's really the way it should be working. That's really, but because the ego says no, look, and because things are now form, I can physically see, look, I'm giving you the £100 and now I don't have the £100. Whereas if I share and extend, and this is more easy to see with non-physical things, I share my joy, I share my love. Like a light, like a candle that lights another candle, the light is never diminished. You can light 100,000 candles from that one flame and it's never diminished. And that's how we are, because we can never lose. There is nothing that you can lose when you are everything. And when there's no time and space, because obviously I'm giving this £100 through time, and it looks like it's now in a different space, separated from me.
Wow.
But that's not what the world, I am giving it to me in my head. It's not left my head because it's just a thought. Okay to move on? Yes? Okay. So the other thing the Course says is you know what you have by giving it away, as I've just said. The interval that you think lies between, which I was just talking about time and space, the interval between the giving and the receiving is what causes or reinforces your potential for suffering, loss and sacrifice, and reinforcing your separation and division. I think the easiest way to see this is if, for example, I give my nephew a present on his birthday, and let's say he doesn't ring up to say thank you till 5 days later. I might be sitting there seething for 5 days because I've given, but I've not received. And I gave to get. Unbeknownst to me, I gave to get my thanks, my appreciation.
And your expectation to have thanks.
Exactly, yeah. The expectation is the thing, isn't it? Expectation is what I'm seeding in the future to get. So the gap between us and the amount of time, if you like, and space that I have to wait until I receive my gift back is causing me the suffering. Whereas if I give with no expectation, I gave the money because he's my nephew and I love him and I want him to have something for his birthday, whether he says thank you or not is irrelevant.
Because the expectation's the ego.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Speaking,
Yeah.
destroy family.
Last night I was doing all this homeopath remedy.
Yeah.
Me and my son's supposed to calm me down, let me sleep and all that, and my sister's got a 3-year-old who's bad. And I knew I was ordering and I was going to get free delivery, so should I order this £4 pot? But she's really tight.
Yeah.
And she would never do the same.
Given in scarcity and
she'd never do the same for me. So I had the struggle for, don't want to order the £3.96 thing. But the other part of me really wanted to because that's who I am.
Yeah.
Like, I wanted to do that for her. And I did in the end. I put it in the basket, I took it out. I took it out. I thought, no, I'm going to do it because
it's the right-minded
that's genuinely
thing
what
to
I
do.
wanted to do, and the right-minded thing to do. And I knew not giving it was going down to her place in a way.
Exactly. That's so lovely, isn't it? That you can see there the head-heart battle going on and everything, the right-minded, wrong-minded, the fight between the Holy Spirit doesn't fight.
And I hope that next time anything like that cropped up and she was in the shop and thought, shall I get that for Abby, that I might have shown her to, I don't know, to be a bit more sharing and giving and...
Although the other thing is, I mean, you know, just to bring this to your attention, because again, you know, I always think about, you know, I'm giving a good message and I'm teaching and all that. But actually, the Course in Miracles says when you think you've got someone to teach someone else, you've set this up. So we're always falling into this blinking trap. It's like everywhere. It's like, you know, trying to walk through a field of landmines, trying to find the right path. But so yeah, but you did the right thing at the end, and that's what counts, isn't it?
But I don't consider myself to go up. I do it because I want to do it.
Yeah.
And that's my.
But no, I was just saying. But when you say I've taught her a lesson, as such, I know you didn't say it.
I hope to. I haven't got a full ego expectation of it, and I wouldn't be devastated if she didn't do the same for me.
You offer the gift. Yeah. But I was just putting it in there because it.
Yeah.
So expectation of the return, the thanks or the acknowledgement, causes potential suffering as it reinforces both of these things. And I'm also reinforcing that he's separate from me.
That's a big thing.
That there's a division between us and all of that kind of stuff. So, think about ourselves. Do we genuinely give to get or to receive? Now, it's really easy, isn't it, with money and all of that kind of stuff to see this. But think about, for example, your workplace. Because when I was learning this, I had this big lesson. I hated the job. I wanted to get out, wanted to be a full-time therapist as such. And so what I realised was I was giving very little, or valuing what I was giving and getting so, you know, little, very, what's the word? I wasn't valuing what I was giving, because I didn't want to be there, I wasn't interested in the job. Not that I wasn't doing it properly, I was doing it conscientiously, but I wasn't, you know, I wasn't going the extra mile, let's say, as if it was my business. Like here, I'll go the extra mile. But I wasn't giving that, and so what did I expect to receive? So I got very little back from it. I was giving, oh, I don't want to be here, and low vibration, if you like, and I was getting low vibration experiences back. And also, I wasn't valuing what I was receiving, and this is the difficulty when we have everything paid into banks now. We see very little cash as such, because my wages would just go in and go straight out. Everything goes. I got paid on the 24th, and all my direct debits, everything is paid by direct debit, goes out on the 25th. So I'm not actually seeing any return to value. Not that I wasn't getting it, but I wasn't honouring it. And so it's the same, like I always think about it as, let's say, EDF, one of the power companies. If I'm giving them £100 a month for my heating and light and all of that, I never equate the two together. This is how the ego works. By separating, it's so long that I don't even see the £100 that I'm giving them, and I never see the connection between I just put the heating on when I want the heating on, I just put the lights on. I never see the connection between the giving and the receiving, which is what causes me then to feel resentful, because I only ever see the money going out. But now they put their prices up, now they want this money and I've got to pay them. So I'm always feeling I'm losing, because I'm not seeing what I'm gaining, or I'm not connecting what I'm actually gaining from it.
That point, I just really would like to know why, at what level we start having this gratitude and deep appreciation and giving to the level with expectation. I'm using my life experience, for example. So when I came to this country, my vision of life was money.
Yeah.
Our dream,
to be rich and have that perhaps you didn't
thing.
Have where you came from.
Then I came here, that I work hard.
Yeah.
I was having like £200 a week. I was working from 6 to 10. It was joy because I was looking after my family.
Yeah.
Yes, all those. But I get my father's baby, and he was in the military. He was rich and all these things, and I feel like I've reached every stage of my dream. Then happiness starts. depression starts.
It's-
Everything that I was having wasn't giving me any more joy, anything else. Then I have to lose them all. I have to, leave the relationships that I was, find myself with nothing to start finding maybe my fitness work, working again for myself.
Finding things of value.
Values. To be, so can somebody transit naturally, not having.
I think what you're describing is the Holy Spirit said, oh, come on, look, all right, well, play your game, because you've got free will, it can't overcome your free will. You came with the belief that you needed money and you wanted to be rich and these things were important and valuable. And then eventually it will show you that this isn't the way. Not because it wants to destroy you, but because it's showing you. You only know what you've got when it's gone, and you only know what wasn't worth having when it's taken away, because while you've got it you think it's important and you think it's valuable because nothing changes. But as soon as the situation changes, now suddenly you can see the contrast and you see that you had a lot but actually you had nothing.
Nothing at all.
Nothing of value. And you go back to that first page where it said if you slave for anything in this world in the belief that it will bring you peace, you are belittling yourself and blinding yourself to the glory, because actually what you got was ego. You lived the ego's life. And then eventually the Holy Spirit's, because maybe you got to that point. I know when I was depressed, oh, for God's sake, help me, what, I'm trying to be a good person, why is it always going wrong for me, why everyone else got money and I haven't, and all that kind of stuff. That was my invite for the Holy Spirit to go, oh, now I can help you because you've asked. I can't overcome your free will. All the time you're not asking me, I can't do anything. As soon as you ask, now I can help you. And then it starts to show you the path to your passion and what really counts and all that kind of stuff.
Sometimes you have to just stop. Sometimes you just have to just stop.
Yeah.
Just stop, be still, and
choose again.
yeah. I mean, every year I have the opportunity to work with homeless people at Christmas with crisis.
Yeah.
And this is the first year that I've been in a job where I'm expected to work between Christmas and New Year.
Okay.
Never been in that position
Yeah.
before, and I'm exceedingly resentful, and I'm struggling with that.
Okay.
I'll throw it out there. I'm
Okay.
struggling
That's okay.
because actually it's denying me, I feel, the opportunity to go and stop and work with people where I can.
Make a difference.
Not even just make a difference for them, because they make a difference for me.
Wow.
And it's a real reciprocal thing.
Yeah.
It's interesting when you look at the other volunteers, everyone's got their story
Yeah.
as to why they're there on
Yeah.
Christmas Day or Boxing
Yeah.
Day or whatever. But, I just value the time and the learning that I receive.
Okay. Let's look at this. This is really interesting, isn't it? So let's look at this first of all from the attack defense cycle, okay? Because this company, they're attacking you for on some level, aren't they? Making you do something you do not want to do. So making you work over Christmas. Now, the company would say, innocently, well, you know what you're buying into. You are an employee. Now you have to do this. They're not out to get you, okay? And you sit here innocently, well, I want to do this and this is more valuable and all of this kind of thing. So innocent, you feel that your kind of wants and needs are innocently good. So both parties are innocent as such. But you're into the attack-defense cycle. Now, if we stop seeing that as an attack, that I signed up for the job and I knew what it was going to be, and therefore I knew that I would not be able to do the homeless work. Do you know what I realised the original sin is? Because I really struggled with this in the course, that everything is just a reflection of the original sin, but here we are again. The original sin, my decision to do something different than God, to be something different, or however you want to say that, I suffer. This is why I'm hiding it all in this unreal world, is because I suffer when I don't own my decisions. And there it is, well disguised by the ego, the same thing. Thank you so much for that. Isn't it bonkers crazy?
Oh, I can't cope, it's too much.
You have to laugh. I laugh all the time because I think, how am I not seeing this? Okay, so you own that decision. I chose this. And that's full stop. You've stopped making them attackers. You've owned your decision, and that attack defense cycle ends. Then the next bit of the work is, see, there's no need for forgiveness there as well. We'll just put that in. See, there's no need for forgiveness there. But the other thing is now, so how else can you help them? Maybe you're going to earn the money, you can give them some money. Maybe you can help them in a different time. Maybe you can take some annual leave before or after or whatever. Does it have to be Christmas Day?
Make a donation with stuff.
Yeah. There's a million different ways that you can give to them. And if you see and you appreciate what you've given, by even if you've given a box of stuff, it's only your definition of worth and value that is going to define whether that's worth doing or not.
The worth and the value is I go at Christmas, whereas they're still going to be there in January, February,
In
March.
fact, they probably need people more
Yeah.
in those periods when
If you want to
everyone
look at
else
it in another point
has
of
done
view,
their bit.
Also that, in you, you're looking for another path of pure joy, and you're looking for something else that work is not giving you, and you're tipping in. It might be something you need to look in transition and say,
Yeah, because if that's your soul's passion,
That's
is
it.
to help other people in that way. Maybe again, you're right. Maybe you need to look at whether the job is the right job for you. Maybe whether not that you made a mistake, but in future you might, or your next job, you will make sure that's a caveat that I don't have to work over Christmas and New Year. You can use it as however you want to use it. But the one way to definitely do it is not to get into that attack defense cycle. Own your choices. Own your choices. I was thinking, and again, I've done a little video about this, about laziness. It all came up about everything is work. And
it's working so well for me today. Everything you're saying, I have the issue with it.
Brilliant. Well, listen to this one then, because this is common as well. So I was in bed on a Sunday morning, and the guy you normally go play tennis with, he wasn't going, and you never know who else is going to be there. So it was a cold day, and I was having a battle with myself about, I won't go. And then the ego was coming in, but that's lazy, you need to get fit, all that kind of stuff. And so I was in this head-heart battle, and then I was thinking about as well, for me, and this is just for me, for my programming, I've got fat and lazy linked together in my mind. And I realised that because I go tennis, unbeknownst to me, so I don't feel lazy, which is an ego judgment, and it keeps me slim. So I was sitting there battling with myself and everything, and then I realised, but hang on a minute, if I just own the decision that I'm not going, and put a full stop there and shut the ego up, I'm not a body, I won't get fat, I don't need to, I was buying into the ego's game. The higher self's going, you're not a body, you're not these judgments, it's just, it's just in your head, whether you go or not. Whether you go or not is irrelevant, it's just part of your dream. But I was having this real issue about it, and I've done it a million times, and it was only now I realised, just own the blinking decision. Yeah. That's how I came to and then I realised I was thinking about if you widen that out, and it came to me, I heard then. And so that morning not going actually was so beneficial, because it kind of then flashed up in front of me, that's the original sin. You've done it, own it, then you can let it go. All the time I'm trying to hide it and don't understand it and don't repress it and suppress it and see it in all these ways and not get what I'm doing, then I'm going to continue to keep seeing it in those terms. But as soon as I got it, just own your blinking decisions, full stop, life ends.
But
Something ends.
The part is the reciprocation. I mean, if you, maybe you're the tennis, you know why you're going, you have responsibility, you pay the person, he's training you. In terms of other relationship, owning it, I mean, I'm saying to somebody, I'm coming. Even if I'm tired, but I trust myself enough to communicate the truth. To say, I'm not coming today because I'm feeling like this.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I have the power of acknowledging that for my integrity, which gives me joy.
Yeah.
Even if I'm
Because
tired.
you're owning your decision.
Having courage to
You're
stand.
owning your decision, aren't you? You're saying, this is me. I don't care what you think, because you're just a projection of my mind or my ego, and I feel good about that, because that's a Holy Spirit decision. Because there's no one out there you're really letting down or anything like that. But the ego will tell you, Louise, look at that poor person, you promised to go and you're not going, and will make you feel bad about it.
But the communication from the Holy Spirit in honesty, actually, I can't come to see you tomorrow because, I have a really difficult night and I don't want when I'm grumpy. That will liberate both sides.
Exactly, yeah. Because you've told the truth, and then they now have a decision what they're going to do about it. Well, yeah, but
it's my problem. It's not my problem.
No, exactly.
I've done my part.
And you don't know
Yeah.
what their story about it. They might go, oh, thank God for that.
Exactly.
Couldn't deal with her today, or oh, that's really, she's really let me
She
down.
always do
But
that.
that's their ego.
Yeah,
that's for
it.
them to
She
work
always
on.
do that. Yes.
Okay. So, do you give to get or receive? So, what price did you pay? Or price, remember, is judgment of worth. What price did you pay? i.e., what value did you give? What price did you pay because the return must match for your peace? So, you have to think about what I gave, what I received. In some ways, financially or in form, is irrelevant. It's what have I valued? Have I valued what I've given, and have I valued what I've received? So that, again, that goes back to that NHS example. So giving to get or to receive does not honour the reciprocal relationship of giving and receiving. It's very low vibration and will cause you suffering. Every gift is an evaluation of the giver and the receiver to the ego. So if I know I'm only giving you a bar of soap because I haven't been bothered to go out, and all of that kind of stuff, it's an evaluation of me and what I've done, and if I'm happy with that, fabulous. But it's going to be my evaluation. And how much you appreciated it, again, is my evaluation. You might love it, but, you might not be somebody who can't show emotion or, gets embarrassed or whatever. So I might think that you didn't appreciate it. Not true, but that's what my judgment may be. So having rests on giving, not getting. That's the key phrase. Having rests on giving, not getting. Because I can only give what I already have. What I've already received, and by giving it to you, I now see what I have. As long as I don't buy into the ego's, look, now I'm £100 short. It's not about that, it's about the way you think about these things.
And there's a lot of powerful transformation into this, isn't
This is why it's so important. This is why I'm doing a whole week on it. Because this is key in how you are seeing everything in your life. It's not just about the material things. In your relationship, how much are you really giving? Are you expecting a whole lot more back? Are you in it to get? All of those kinds of things. So, friendships.
Everything.
Special love relationships. Relationship with your mum. What do I get? What do I... I was always giving expectation that, she might not love me enough, or she doesn't show me, appreciation, or whatever it may be, or she doesn't want to spend time with me, or all of those kinds of things, then, what am I giving and what am I getting? And what I get, I won't value anyway. So I'm valuing what I'm giving.
When I was working and sending money home, I've reached a state that I resent them because I send so much money, they don't do anything with it,
Yeah.
And then I start resenting them, and I start expecting them to do something else for the youngest. So I'm the, middle. I done something for my brothers. If he doesn't do for the next brother, I resent him.
So you're giving with attachments. So you're not really giving. You're kind of lending as long as you do this, and this.
But now, the little I have, and I meditate before I give, it transformed.
Yeah.
It changed everything.
For you
And for
and
them, you can
Yeah.
see the money I was giving before, they got nothing. They have achieved nothing with it. It was
Interesting,
just
isn't
now.
Okay, let's do a little bit of revision then. So again, let's talk about it through the law of attraction and such with vibration. So remember, price is the judgment of worth. And it's my judgment. Giving to get, low vibration. Getting is actually low vibration. Getting as accepting. If I accept, remember the difference between receiving and getting? If I accept your lovely gift and I see everything as a gift, even your attack is a gift because I now get the chance to practice my work as such. What was it? And I was laughing, I was saying, so a lady in the class was telling me about, she went to get her car MOT done in this new place, and he did the MOT and he said he failed it because her number plate was too light, and she felt he was accusing her of doing it especially so the cameras can't read it, right, the speed cameras and stuff. And she was going, oh, why can I don't know anything about that, why would I do that? It's just a number plate, And she kind of got into an attack defence cycle with him, and in the end he went, well, that's it, I'm not passing your MOT. You've upset me now, I'm not passing your MOT. Now, whether you think that's legal and all that is irrelevant. So she said, and I feel really angry about this. So I explained that she's in the attack defence cycle about it, and that she's actually angry with herself because she didn't go to the old place. She's not owning the decision. She had decided to try somewhere new. She had taken the car to the MOT, and the guy, whatever he's doing is his business, but she had fallen into the attack defence cycle with him. And now she went and she went, oh, I'm really, really sorry, please pass it, I'll get the new, she had to go and get the new number plate and everything, but he charged her again. And, it's not fair, and all the kind of normal stuff was coming out. And so I was telling her how to think about it differently. That these are all your choices. You did all of this, and you now have a choice. Are you going to continue the story? And I love this, I've learnt this, that acid does more damage to the container it's in than it does out there.
Yeah.
Because resentment and anger and hate is acid within you. And the longer you think about that, the longer you're going to suffer. And so just let it go. You pay the money, because remember, we're not actually losing anything. And then I said to her, I ended, and I said, and actually, he's been your greatest spiritual teacher, hasn't he? What a gift this man. And I said, because she was into this power thing, and I said, if you, because she was saying he's one and all of that, and I said, if you went and said, oh my God, thank you so much. You've taught me, you've been my greatest, thank you for doing that. In some ways, this isn't the right way to think about it, but to make her feel better, you've taken your power back, because his power came from thinking he'd got one over on you. But actually, when you go, thank you so much, what a fantastic gift you've given me, because she's learned loads from it. She's now learned how to bring peace to her life. What a gift. So even those people that think, or you think, that they're attacking you, what a gift. Gives me a chance to do my work.
If you're capable at that, if you
if you know how to do it, But that's where we are, that's where we hope we are anyway. So it's high vibration. Giving by extending and sharing, again, no loss, high vibration. We've done the appreciation, growth, and more receiving, high vibration. And asking is often equated to getting. Because if I ask from need, low vibration, and I don't need to ask for anything else, do I? I only ask for what I need. Is that true? If I've got £1 million, I don't need to ask for £1 million, do I? If I've got a glass of orange, I don't need to ask for a glass of orange. When I'm asking either because I'm seeing lack within myself about ability to do it, lack of skills, lack of training, whatever it may be, or I'm asking because I haven't perhaps got the money, or I'm asking because I need something from you which increases our division and our separation and increases my
I'm getting
sense
you,
of
but could that confidence of the high vibration, is it because, okay, I operate with the Holy Spirit, so I know my need is taken care of by God.
But you're still asking for something you think is better or bigger than you as such, aren't you? Because why are you not doing it for yourself? Why have you got to ask?
Because I don't see the whole picture, isn't it?
Yeah, because we have to ask the Holy Spirit, don't we? Because we're trapped in the dream.
That's right.
Still the ego's playing, otherwise we wouldn't be here. The dream would have ended. So that's why there is the Holy Spirit. God sent the Holy Spirit so that it could help us wake up. So that means it's there as such if you want to do this, and we're here just in this unreal world.
Where the miracle come, because my need just
Your needs will be answered.
that's
You'll be
it. The
given.
miracle become
Yeah.
grace. All
Does that make sense now? Or?
Yeah, because ask and you shall receive.
Yeah.
Yeah. But what all I'm saying is we're asking because we are in need.
Yeah.
So it's low vibration, isn't it?
Yeah.
Because I've just put myself less than God, and we are all equal. You are God.
No.
I know.
We're not asking an individual.
This is your ego. Sort your ego out, girl.
I'm not asking you. I'm not asking my individual, because I need to be full to give. As a child of God, I know I have the grace of life. I have the gift of universe, which is love. I have the ability of abundance, and I'm giving
Fabulous.
all.
And you're not asking anything from that, are you? If you have it all, what are you asking for?
But I need to.
Because you're not there yet. None of us are there yet.
No.
Otherwise, I'd be walking on water and I'd be coming and going like Jesus did. We're not there
No,
yet.
no.
As much as it's frustrating, and I keep doing the work and I keep going, why am I still here? What is there now? Show me what is there now. There's always something else.
Reach the relationship, because by going back, acknowledging your need and going back to Him, which reinforce the relationship, because He can only be the one who can fulfill you.
Yes.
So He will always be in need.
No. Yeah, while you're here, while you're in the dream.
Exactly.
Just
The
let it
ego,
go.
to have is to possess something, but all you have is what you are.
To have is to be.
So all you have is what you are,
Yeah.
isn't it, really?
Yeah. Yeah.
You don't lack anything, really, innit?
Because it's all in your head.
Yeah.
Okay, so perception, I'm going to move a bit faster now. Perception, the value of anything is only a matter of your perception. Perception is impossible without a belief or judgment. And when we judge something, what I'm actually paradoxically saying, like, I like red, paradoxically then, I like everything else less. This is better, that means everything else is worse. Or this is worse, that means everything else. So I'm in judgment. And perception increases separation and division, unbeknownst to us. Okay? So other is always rejected, less valuable, less worthy, or whatever. But levels of value are impossible. Okay? Because we're all one, we're all equal. So the higher self's view, if pain is equated to giving, you cannot experience loss, as a reciprocal relationship is recognised. So that's, if I go back to the EDF, if I recognise that by giving and all what I receive, I've got to make sure I see both sides of it. So I'm not paying them to, I'm giving them something back for what they're providing for me. So that balance is, I'm not paying. I'm actually giving. We're sharing services, really, aren't we, through the medium of money. The price will be set high because the value of the return. This is just really quickly for my car. So my car needed, I was told, 2 to 3 grand's worth of repairs, right? So I got all my head around it and all of that. I first went into attack. Bloody garage is trying to. I got it in my head. Okay, I thought, right, okay. The universe will provide, it's all going to be fine. As it turned out, the repairs cost $1,500. I thought I'd won. Oh, I was expecting 2, 3. I've only got to pay $1,500. Now, it's interesting. If they just said it was going to be 1,000 and then it turned out to be 1,500, I would have felt I'd have lost. And it's all in my head because the only thing is the 1,500. But I could have had a story about them cheating me or being a really lovely garage. It's interesting, isn't it? Because again, what I've judged, what I've worked, and the way, this is what Deal or No Deal is built on, isn't it? It's because when you've been offered 20 grand and then you don't take it, you feel like you've lost it, but you never had it.
So in overall, we don't owe anything.
Don't owe anything. No, it's all in your head. That's all how you're going to see it and the story you're going to tell yourself about it. That's basically everything, isn't it, that we're doing. The price will be set high because the value of the return. If I know I'm giving and receiving, it's one thing, we're all one. It may look like I've given £1,500 of my money to the garage, but actually, thank God they were there, otherwise I wouldn't have a car that's working. And, you know, there's no separation. It's already come to me, otherwise I wouldn't have been able to pay it. So I didn't realise I could just find 1,500 quid like that. And also, it'll come back to me because I've given it with a good heart and I feel good about it. My vibration's still up here. So I will just get more clients or whatever to pay it. So it's win, 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 win. If I'm not looking at the 1,500 that now has gone into their till and isn't in my pocket.
Because you already trust the provision of the universe, don't you? You already trust it.
Well, I'm working
so you
towards
don't
it.
hold on to anything anymore.
I still have to do my work on it because I immediately went into bloody garages. They're trying to cheat me because I've got all of these beliefs about, you know, particularly men. This is just me. Men, you know, garages, builders. Because I don't have knowledge. I don't have the skills, therefore I feel down here, which puts them up there in my worldview, which means up there you can do what you like to somebody who's and what does this make me? A victim, less than. And it's bonkers crazy. Because I always say I trust people 100%. I always work with trust. But there seems to be these little special boxes, but these people I would normally trust out there, when they get into that garage, they turn into cheats. When they go into their builder's overalls, they turn into cheats. It's crazy.
Your perception.
Of course, my programming. Yeah, my programming. So the gift will be appreciated by both, accepted, wanted and valued. Value what you give or you are, and you will receive value from it. There's one more. So, when you are recognising the reciprocal relationship and giving and receiving are one thing, the need for time is over and space. As I said, I'm not seeing a gap between me giving the money to the garage and receiving all of that stuff. Where one, it'll come back to me in another way. I have to have received before I can give, and by giving I affirm that I have it to give. So it made me feel rich. Having and being become equal, which is what you were talking about. And the course again talks about focus on the content, not the form. I.e. the idea, the mental thing about it, not whether I've lost the 1,500 or not. Not whether the form is irrelevant because it's just a projection of my mind. It's what's going on in my mind that is the problem or the gift. Yeah, so because actually what I'm giving out is only thought or light, it can never be diminished, it can never lose. Thought never leaves the place where it began, never leaves its source. The false association the ego makes between giving and losing is gone. The idea of sacrifice is removed because everyone gains by your holy vision, which asks nothing of them. And that's what we were talking about earlier, isn't it? Expect nothing, ask nothing, want nothing as such. Just give. Don't fall into the attack-defense cycle. Even if it looks like I'm giving a lot more, that will come back to me in some way, shape or form, because actually we are one. But if I get, you know, like in relationships often, I'm giving all the time and I'm getting nothing back and all of that, that's what kind of starts the resentment, often will cause my suffering. So just things to think about for yourself over the tea break. How much are you giving to your partner, to your job? Look, think about the cost versus the gain. Do you value what you're actually getting from them? Are you giving to get? Are you getting or receiving and thus appreciating, or dismissing or ignoring the return, or not making a connection, like me and my EDF, if you like? And how can you honour that reciprocal relationship of giving and receiving in that relationship? And that could be a relationship of work, of friends, of loved ones, of whatever. Make sense?
Yeah, it does.
My work is
That's a bit-
tea time!